What's up, guys? Welcome back to Morris Brown and Historically Black Presents from Hard Resets to the Resurgent. We're happy to be here again, and we're excited to have amazing conversation. But today is going to be super dope, right? We're going to be having conversations with Saquon Hobbs, SGA president, and we're going to be talking about the money, right? Money after graduation. You know what happens after graduation, what it looks like from an aspirational standpoint to get into the bag. You're right. Of course, we go to school. We want to have the community. We have HBCU and the culture and all that thing. But we also want to get to the point of building generational wealth, making money, working for amazing companies and things of that nature. So we're excited to have Saquon on here, man. How you doing, brother? How you doing today, man?
I'm blessed, man. What about you, man?
I'm great, man. I'm just happy to be on here, man. We're happy to be on, episode 6 today, and excited to have you on here, especially someone that's amazing, doing amazing things for the community and amazing things for Morris Brown. Please introduce yourself to the viewers, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. Well, I'm Saquon Hobbs. I'm a graduating senior here at Morris Brown College. I major in organizational management and leadership. And after graduating from Morris Brown, I plan on pursuing getting my MBA from Clark Atlanta University.
That's amazing, man. Congratulations, first and foremost.
Thank you. Thank you.
But before we go into to after graduation and things of the nature, I kind of want to start like how did you get to Morris Brown? Like, what was that journey and what did that look like for you?
Ooh, it was a very testing journey. And when I say that is because when I got out of high school, one of the locations that I desired to go to or be at was Morehouse College.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually a transfer student from Morehouse. And just long story short, being there, I realized that that environment and that school, it wasn't for me. And it was nothing against Morehouse. I still have buddies and friends that I'm close to
Right.
this day. That have graduated from.
I can't hear you. Check your tone. Check your yeah, I can't hear you. Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, what's going on? Mm-mm. Well, we're here, you know what I'm saying? So I think the importance of having these amazing conversations is to understand the perspective around, of course, the culture around HBCUs, the culture around going to college, right? We want to go to college, we want to have the community, the backing and have that energy, but also focusing on what it looks like after college, right? A lot of times the thought process is to go to college, come out with an amazing job and perspective. Good.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect.
Okay.
All
Okay.
good.
I
It's
don't
all
I don't I don't know what just happened, but
hey, listen, look, this is the prime example of life. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
life, sometimes it falls down, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes you gotta pick it back up. You know what I'm saying?
You're
So
absolutely right about that.
it's all good. So I know we were
Yeah.
having a conversation about your journey from Morehouse to Morris Brown. So kind of give me a little bit more insight on what happened in that pivot.
Oh yeah. So pretty much I knew a little bit about Morris Brown because actually when my mom graduated from high school, this was one of the schools that she decided to come to. But she only went here for a semester, of course, after being pregnant with me, so she had to go back home. So like I mentioned before, Morehouse was my desired location. I was like, man, I gotta be at Morehouse.
Right.
Morehouse is the best place to be at for a black man. But unfortunately, stuff wasn't working out for me. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I actually end up getting kicked out my first. Well, I'm not gonna say kicked out, but I actually end up having to drop out due to financial reasons over
Gotcha.
there.
Gotcha.
And I went through a little depression stage for about a year or two because I worked so hard to get into the school. And so it was a little bit depressing, having to work so hard to get in there, and then after one semester, I couldn't stay.
Right.
So eventually, I got back on it and I prayed, and I asked God to give me and to just give me just a clear mindset as far as the location that I need to be at. And something just told me to come to Morris Brown, and it's just been great ever since. And with me being able to serve as the SGA president here, I've been offered so many great opportunities, and then on top of that, I actually, one of the full circle moments that I would like to share is that being a part of SGA president, one of the opportunities that I was able to share was to be able to speak for Vice President Kamala Harris when she came to Atlanta at Morehouse. And
Amazing.
so it was a full circle moment to be there and to speak, in front of her, to be at a school where I had to drop out due to financial reasons. Like now I'm back speaking for the vice president. So it was just like a moment that, I kind of just had to stand in myself and like realize like, oh man, like God just working in mysterious ways.
No, for sure. And I think
Mhm,
that's what life's all about. Even the whole with the phone going out and then the not
mhm,
being able to hear you. That's the thought process of life, right?
mhm,
Sometimes we have to pivot. Sometimes we
mhm,
have to make those hard decisions, right?
mhm,
What turned out to be the best decisions for us, you
mhm,
know. But I want to kind of go back, right? Because I'm
mhm,
a big advocate for mental health, right? I'm a big
mhm,
advocate for having those conversations, and we had this conversation with the alumni in the last episode. But I think it's also to have these conversations with students as well, right?
mhm,
Um, you said that you're depressed. When you say that you were depressed, was it the fact that, well, twofold question.
mhm.
The fact that things were just working out, and then from that perspective, like I know you said that you prayed, but outside of praying, what were you doing to try to get yourself out of that mindset?
Um, One, I felt like I got into the depression due to the fact of I just felt like no matter what I did to put myself in position, it was always something. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that, in life you get obstacles, especially when you want to
Right.
get to a
Yeah, for
yeah, when
sure.
you want to get to who you want to be. But it just felt like no matter how hard I tried to fight, it was always something.
A barrier
And
that
so
was in
that
front of you, a barrier that was in front of
Yes,
you.
yes.
Yeah.
And then it was just frustrating because it was like I couldn't catch a break. And so then on top of that, one of the ways that I kind of like one of the ways that I tried to get out of that depression, or one of the ways that I did get out of that depression, it just I knew that anything that in life that was worth having, it wasn't easy. So
Right.
once I domed that into me, like, okay, bro, if you want to get to this, or if one of your goals is to achieve this, then you're gonna go through this. And then another thing that I always tell myself is that you always have to have a story to tell.
Right.
So, a lot of times when you meet great people, whether it's like, Jay-Z, LeBron, or anybody else that you could think of, everybody has a story to tell as
That's
far as
true.
how they got to where they got. So to
For sure.
me, all I just look at it as in this is my story. So
Right.
I'm praying that one day, I'm able to share. Thank you. I'm able to share my story and like, hey, isn't it wasn't just all easy and it wasn't all just smooth. I had to go
Right.
through some stuff, which is fine. It's okay, and I think that's what I feel like that's one of the issues that we have today, that some people think that it's discouraging or it's something wrong with life when you go through something, and it's okay to go through something,
Right.
you know. So I that's most definitely one of my ways.
No, I agree, man. I remember being in college myself in my freshman year, and I had a 2.3 GPA, right? Coming from high school with
Exactly.
with a 4.0 majority
Hmm.
of my high school career, and then ending my high school career with a 3.5 and going to school and
Hmm.
not understanding the balance of just college. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And at the end of the semester, trying to hide my grades from my mom, and then my mom finds out, and I'm like, oh man, she's
That's a
like, yo,
whole different story.
what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, either you get your grades up, or you gonna be a GPC. And for people that don't know what GPC is, Georgia Public
Hmm.
College, that was on the
Hmm.
east side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody went to GPC. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Everybody from my school, and I was like, I'm not trying to go there. That's why I left Atlanta to go to Tuskegee, because I wanted to be away from this the negativity and the energy of getting in trouble. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So I
Hmm.
definitely understand the trying to figure out what's next, right? And you're trying
Hmm.
to work hard, and it's just like blocks after blocks after blocks, right?
Hmm.
But I always say this: God always had the journey for us at the end of the day. Like you said, it's about telling that story, right?
Hmm.
Being able to motivate and inspire other people, because students are going through this every single day, right? Freshmen are going through this
Mhm.
every single time they come into college, right? Because you're not taught how to balance college life. Because you got to
Mhm.
realize, right? Let's be honest, right? We going to college trying to turn up. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like
most definitely.
have a good time. You know what I mean? And of
Mhm.
course, we're thinking about our grades and we want to be, we want to thrive and want to be successful. But just be real. Like your freshman year, it's so much going on. Like you're just
Mhm.
you're right. You know,
Mhm. Trying to find something to get you through.
right. You're just trying to find something to get you through. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I commend you because a lot of times that doesn't happen. Because I know for me
Mhm.
in Tuskegee, we we come in we I know we come into a class right where there's a good amount of people within that class, and normal time 80%, 70 to 80% of those people don't come back the next year.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? And some people don't even finish college because of that situation of financial hardships and not being able to get through because of financial aid. And we already know what that looks like from an HPC perspective. You know what I'm
Yeah, that's a
saying?
whole nother
A
story.
whole nother
Yeah.
conversation. But I commend you because you didn't stop,
Mhm.
right? You did not stop. And you said that there is a way out, right?
Mhm.
And I think for people that are listening, there's always a way out. And not even just from a college perspective, a life perspective. Like there's
Mhm.
always a way out. Do not give up, right?
Most definitely.
About find something that inspires you. If it's community, if it's family, if it's faith, something, right? Because at
Mhm.
the end of the day, you have to stay focused because God has a journey for all of us,
You're
right?
absolutely
It's up
right.
to us to figure out what that looks like. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I
Mhm.
commend you for sticking in. And like I said, like it worked out, right? Because
Most
now
definitely.
you're you're Ed Morris Brown, right?
Mhm.
And you are the SGA president of
Yes,
more
sir.
of a powerhouse HBCU. You know what I mean? So you are a testament to
Mhm.
that. You know, you are
Mhm.
a testament for individuals that have left schools because of financial situations or whatever situation they come their way. So, like I said,
Mhm.
I think it's always important to highlight and give flowers to individuals that have worked hard, right, to
Mhm.
push themselves forward to whatever that looked like, right. But
Yes,
quick
sir.
question: what year was this? What year did you go to Morehouse, and what year? What's the timeline?
So the timeline, okay, so go a little back. I graduated high school in 2018. Shortly after graduating high school, I want to say maybe like 3 months, I joined the military because I was unsure as far as going to school. I was unsure as far as if I wanted to go to college or not because where I'm from, college ain't too much really known.
Where you from?
So, in order to me to one of the ways to help me get out of where I was at or where I was from quickly, I joined the military as Army Reserve. After doing my training and basic training and AIT training, I came home. I was like, okay, cool. I know for sure I want to go to school. So that was about 2019. And what's crazy is literally the semester I had to drop out was the semester right before COVID hit.
Oh, okay,
So
got
it was like, okay, cool. Dropping out of school, go fall into that stage and then okay, let me try to get my mind right. And then boom, COVID
you.
hit. So it was just like boom, boom, boom.
That's crazy. And I like
Yeah.
and people don't understand that was a hard period for a lot of people, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that my brother struggled with that as well. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
COVID. His he didn't get a chance to finish his last year of high school because of COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of pushed him back a little bit. But he
Mm-hmm.
just like you, like not giving
Mm-hmm.
up, staying
Mm-hmm.
focused, staying locked in,
Mm-hmm.
and not letting that deter him away from what he wanted to do and what he wanted to focus on. Right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's power in that for sure. Faith
And
and
that
power.
and most definitely, and that's why I 100% agree with you. And another reason why I just wanted to mention that's why I have so much love and respect for our president, Dr. Kevin James himself, because
Right.
actually when I went through that COVID, along with me trying to figure out my next home and my next education place, I reached out to a lot of schools because it was kind of hard for me to transfer,
Right.
due to financial reasons, not everybody,
And we know
being able to help out.
how hard it, and we know how not to cut you off. We know how hard it is to transfer HBCU to other schools.
Exactly. So, after everything that I've been through, I tried to go to several schools and they was turning me down saying, hey, we can't help you, stuff like that. and I seen Dr. James on social media, and something just told me to reach out to him, along with many others that I reached out to. And Dr. James was literally the only person that reached back out to me, and I told him everything that I had going on. And he was just like, "Don't worry about it, I got you." And ever since then, even all the way up to now, he's always made sure that I was good, along with other administrators like Dr. Allen and even Mr. Fair. They've always made sure that I was good, and that's why I love being here at Morris Brown so much. Because, like, don't get me wrong, HBCUs, we gonna go through stuff, but one thing that I can say, being here up under their leadership, they have made it so much easier for me. So that's why I just have so much respect for them.
And listen, I didn't even go to Morris Brown, right? And I
Hmm.
love my I love Tuskegee, but I
Uh
can
huh.
see that there's a love, a true community, and a true fellowship, and it's like going to your grandma's house, right?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And the fact that you were able to talk to the president, that's not normal. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
not normal at all.
It's not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the care behind that, and the care to say, "Hey, we're here for you, right? We're
Hmm.
here to help you navigate this journey, right? And we know that it's tough, right? But we can hold your hand and then eventually let you go. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that's very powerful. So my next question to you is like, well, so what is your major? What is your major and what are you currently studying?
So right now I'm currently studying business, organizational management, and leadership right now at
Okay.
this moment.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what is your aspirations in regards to that major and degree? What do you aspire to do? I guess coming after graduation.
Well, of course, after graduating, I plan
You
on
want to get
getting
your
my
MBA,
my MBA at Clark Atlanta University. But also, I also wanted to do or one of the reasons that I want to pursue business is because being here in Atlanta, it inspired me to see so much stuff that's business orientated.
right?
So I felt like being in a business or potentially having your own. I'm a strong believer in generational curses. So of course, it's always good to have a great job. But me personally, I just want to be in a position to where I can not only change my life, but I can also change the people's lives around me, especially my family.
Right,
So being in a business, especially being in like being in the program I am now, or even going to master schools, and I hopefully one day I'm able to go to a doctoral school too. But I'm able to get the knowledge and understanding that I can, in order to be a successful businessman myself. So
right.
therefore, once again, I can able to do those type things that I want to do.
Definitely. And I know in a couple episodes ago we talked about the thought process around the culture of the business house and how they plan to have a focus on hospitality and things of that nature. What does it look like from an intern standpoint? Have you had any internships the last couple of years? Like, what does that look like for you?
So I do want to take time to introduce somebody right quick before I
Go ahead,
proceed.
go ahead.
So I actually want to introduce my classmate. Her name is well, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
Oh, hello. My name is Toriana Scruggs.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
I'm currently Miss Senior. I'm studying for psychology. Great thing is I'm graduating in May.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So you're joining on call. So we got some dope questions for you. I'm excited that you're joining. But we're definitely what we're talking about is like the thought process behind post grad and what does it look like for you guys after you graduate. So what are your plans for after graduation?
Currently, I'm applying to master's programs. I have a few in Georgia and a few in Michigan because that's where I was originally born from.
Okay.
It's basically trying to get the best out of my Morris Brown experience because like at Morris Brown they do push you for higher education.
Right.
So the best thing to do would be to use what you have here and to build upon it by like being one of the pillars in the community. Because at Morris Brown, like our alumni are so good that like they literally will pay for your whole dorm if you need to. Like
That's amazing.
they're some of the most kindest people, and it's just like a at Morris Brown, they will have a very good play it forward things to where if one of the alumni has like a business or a restaurant, the Morris Brown uses it for like functions. So not only are we funding Black businesses, we're funding Morris Brown or Brownites, as we like to say.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So when did you come to Morris Brown?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
When did you come to Morris Brown? When
I
did you come to
came to
Morris?
Morris Brown like 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay. So how's that experience been? Like how's the energy been for you and just the kind of I know we the last even with Saquon we've been talking about the community and culture. Like how has that energy been for you and how has it changed your perspective around just moving forward in your journey?
So basically, the community has been very welcoming. Like, for example, like one student was like, "Oh, I don't understand this math," and like the whole esports room was trying to figure out how to help them with the math problem.
Right.
Like, they weren't even nobody else had the same math class, but
Right.
we have the type of community to where we help each other if somebody needs something. We're always there. And that's what I really like Morris Brown. You're more than a number. You're like a real person.
That's
So
amazing.
yes.
No, and I think that's what it's all about, right? I think that I think we forget about the power of true community, right? The power of how that can help motivate and inspire people to keep moving forward, right? Because like we were just talking about, like college can be hard, right? Not from a standpoint of like education, and it's really the balance what makes it hard, right? 'Cause a lot of times people it comes with freedom, right? Because everybody comes from a different background. But a lot of times, the one thing that people forget about is the lack that the freedom of when you go to college and how that can impact you in a negative way and also in a positive way, right? Not understanding like time, right? I understand that even though you have your own dorm and you're here by yourself, that you still gotta go to class, right? But all the extracurricular activities, all the parties, all that, all the things that are all in one. It's like everything in one little pot, right? And then some people struggle with that. You know what I mean? I think it's important to have community and the school, and I think that's what sometimes HBCUs are good for, right? Is I want to walk with you, right? I want to walk with you down this journey so that you can get a grasp of how to balance it, right? And I think even when I talking to alumni, I know that in the past they talked about like how they had to sign in for
Mhm.
classes,
Yep.
right? I asked them, I said, is that something that 'cause I know we don't do that no more, but that's something that we should add back in to
No,
have
no,
some
no, 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 no. I don't think we need to do that no more.
a little structure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't have that, but maybe my 2.3 would have been a 3.3. You know what I'm saying? But you never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You never know how that can change perspective because when you're a freshman, like you don't know what's going on. And then like I feel like you truly don't have a grasp of everything until like probably your junior year. You know what I mean? Where you're seasoned, you're a seasoned individual and things of that nature. But I do want to kind of go back, please. So you know you want to get your MBA, Saquon. I know you said you know in the petition you want to get your doctors as well. Um, are you thinking about going into the corporate field after the MBA, or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Like, have you thought about that, or have you had anybody kind of give you kind of thought process around what that looks like? Like, kind of just walk me through that a little bit.
To be honest with you, it's still pretty much a thought. I've thought about it all.
Right.
It's really, and I hate this. Well, I don't really hate to say it, but it's just pretty much what the money talking at for the
Hey,
most part.
listen, ain't
Um,
nothing wrong with that. Ain't
yeah,
nothing wrong with
I,
that.
yeah. It just growing up, I've always been taught, when somebody asks you a question, you need to go ahead and know what you need to do. But one thing that I realized growing up, it's okay for you to still be in a stage where you're
Yeah,
figuring stuff
for
out.
sure.
So yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. Majority 9 times. Well, I'm gonna say it 9 times out of 10. Majority of the time, you what you're majoring is not what you're doing after college. Well,
yeah.
your true career. Like for me, I'm still in the field in the field, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I was a marketing major, worked in corporate for a little bit, and I became an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but I think those that journey prepared me for this, and I think the journey of HBCUs, the journey of being in Morris Brown, and even I was talking to the alumni last week, they were talking about how it prepared them for and being ready for these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's a blessing to have a school that's already positioned and building upon the foundation. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
want to ask you a question though too, and I'm gonna get to you as well. Um, if you had no worries, right? All the money like in the world, like what would be the idea industry or thing that you would want to do?
Oh, that's a yeah, yeah, yeah. So one of the well, look, before I answer that question, I got one more. I got one more
Oh,
option.
yes. Oh, we got this is
I,
a prize
yeah,
today.
I got one more awesome student that I want you to meet. This student name. Usually they can introduce you, but I gotta introduce him. This is Mr. Kevin Ford. He's right behind me. This student right here, along with Miss Toriana, these students are very exceptional. And one thing I can say about Mr. Kevin Ford, he does so much for the school. Sometimes I feel like I have to give him my title. Like, man, you really should be SGA president out of stuff that you're doing. But I really appreciate not only him, also all of our other students that we have, and of course the ones that you are talking to. But I
Oh,
just
for
want
sure.
to make sure that I, point that out before he got a chance to introduce himself.
No, for sure. Please introduce yourself. And we'll love to have you a part of this conversation as well.
Yes. I'm going to thank you
Just
guys.
slide on in.
Yes. I'm happy to be a part. My name is Kevin Ford. I am a sophomore student ambassador here at Morris Brown College. I am a business major, organization management and leadership. And I also am a work study student here at Morris Brown, working for the Department of Institution Advancement and Alumni Affairs.
Okay.
And I'm just happy to join today. I've been watching the series, and I'm loving what you guys do. Also, I am the newly elected historian for Morris Brown College.
Oh, so you got some knowledge. So you
Yes,
got all the knowledge in the history. That's amazing. That's
all the knowledge in history. Yes. So,
so give me one fact.
one fact.
Give me one
One
fact that
fact.
maybe people don't know.
His granddaddy built the school. That's the one
For
fact.
real?
No, he just like to say that.
So I know.
Oh, I'm about to say that's serious. That's a huge fact.
Yes, that is I joke with the students here at Morris Brown that my granddad built the school, but no, he actually did it. One fact that students wouldn't know. Ooh.
I
Um,
put you on the spot. My bad.
yeah, you put me on the spot. I would say uh, Morris Brown is the original FUBU of the South. So for Black people, by Black people, founded by us for us, that people don't know. That we are now trying to instill the rich history of Morris Brown and letting them know that Morris Brown was founded by Black people for
Right.
Black people. No other institution can say that. Morris Brown has those bragging rights, the real FUBU of the South. So
Let me
that's
ask
that.
you,
My one
let me
fact.
ask you a question. I know we kind of steering away from the topic, but I think the history is always important. Like, how does that history impact how you guys plan to, after post grad and graduating, plan to just push forward the history of Morris Brown as alumni? And of course, it aligns back to the aspirations and career and things of that nature. How does that make you feel, and how do you plan it? How do you guys plan to push that forward?
We plan to push it forward as much as we can, because one thing that I know, as far as being at a Morris Brown, and let's be real, as far as being at a HBCU, period. When you go to a HBCU, especially when you go to a school that has noticeable alumni, like, say for example, Morehouse has Martin Luther King. We have people such as Hosea Williams and stuff like that. When you've been to an institution where you know people that are great and have done great things, walk once where you are walking now, it gives you the sense of urgency, or it gives you the sense to be even more successful that you want to be, because it's so many people, especially as Black people. It's been so many individuals that have sacrificed so much for us to be and do what we are doing now. So when you keep that in mind, and like, it was a point in time where we couldn't sit here and do this, or be on the yard, or do stuff like that. It makes you think that or it makes you want to go even harder, not just in college, just in life, period.
No, and to add to that, I think that is something that we have to remember, right? I know we don't like going back to the period where we didn't have nothing, right? I know that's something that we try to forget, but we can't forget, because I think it's a reminder that we deserve everything,
Hmm.
right? No, like, seriously, like, we deserve everything, like happiness, money, success, wealth, everything. You know what I mean? So, like, I think we always should remember that there's nothing wrong with having ambition.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with striving for greatness, right? But with
Exactly.
greatness comes responsibility. With greatness
Mhm.
comes work. With
Mhm.
greatness comes opportunity to grow. With greatness
Mhm.
comes failure,
Mhm.
right? You know what I'm saying? Like we have to understand that it takes failure to get to the top. And
Mhm.
a lot of times as we climb that mountain to the top, there's boulders coming our way. You may get hit with that boulder, but
Mhm.
it's up to you to decide. It's like, hey, am I gonna get back up
Mhm.
or I'm just gonna stop? You know what I mean? And I think we gotta remember that our our ancestors come from that type of energy. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like they got up even when they got slammed down. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's something already ingrained into who we are. It's
Mhm.
in our DNA. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in our DNA. I think we always remember that that's where we get the grind from. We talk about hustling and all that. Like we are the definition of hustle.
Yeah, and
You
and I couldn't agree with you more, especially when you talk about like hustling and grinding, and even when you get to a point where you think like you want to stop, you have to sit there and you think like you said, not a lot of us think about it stuff like that, but when you do think about it, especially when you're at a point where you feel like you want to stop, you do have to think about times where Harriet Tubman, she went and not only did she go, but she actually came back and got slaves where she could have stopped. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about those things like that. When you want to stop, like it's been time where many people wanted to stop, but obviously they kept going for even like I said, for us to be to where we at now. You know?
right. And I think that is the foundation of HBCUs, right?
Hmm.
That is the foundation of Morris Brown. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like we were built on that thought process,
Hmm.
you know, and I think that's why we have to, as honestly students, as alumni, as faculty, we have to always challenge ourselves, right? We have to always challenge individually ourselves. We have to challenge our universities, right? Because we were built on evolution.
Hmm.
You know, I'll say it again. We were built on evolution. Our every founder that founded at HBC founded it because of wanting to evolve.
You're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? So like
Hmm.
we if that is the case, we have to always evolve from a institution perspective. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like
Yes, sir.
that's how we was built. You know what I'm saying? So we were built on that thought process. What is us to not to say we don't want to evolve anymore?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you guys are having a hospitality, you guys having a EA. We have to evolve with times. Like things
Hmm.
are changing constantly. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
How we make money changes constantly. You know
And
what
you
I
have to
mean?
roll with it. You
You gotta
gotta roll.
roll with it. And you gotta lean into it more because at the end of
Hmm.
the day, like students like you guys want more, right?
Hmm.
You don't want just the because I remember when I was at Tuskegee, it was always the same companies that came. It was like, no, we want Facebook, we want Nike,
Yeah.
we want Adidas.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? We
Hmm.
want CNN. We want sneaking across the street from Morris Brown. We want all of it. We want every
Yeah.
single thing, but we deserve every single thing. You know what I mean?
These organizations that are thriving, for sure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So I want to talk to you guys too. It's like, what are you guys' plan after graduation as well? I forgot you guys' name, so definitely say your name and then let me know what are you guys' plan after graduation. And similar question to him is like, with all the resources and opportunity, like, what do you guys want to do? Like, what do you guys thrive to do?
Well, my name is Toriana. Most people call me Tori. The
Sure.
thing, I want to get my master's degree, and then after I get my doctorate degree, I'm going to start a nonprofit to help inner city kids get the psychological help that they need.
Okay.
Cause like as Cyclone said, every, like uh, mental health is a very big problem, especially in the Black community, because a lot of people don't believe that it exists. You're either being whining or you're lying about like being sick, and that's what I felt like. A lot of problems reside in the Black community because we're not going to get those tests. That a lot of like some kids that have ADHD is just labeled as a bad kid because they're not moving around them as much as they need to. Or if we go to certain doctors, they just say that, oh, we're sick, schizophrenic, and they just give us medicine after medicine after medicine. Like, I really want to change, like, the belief of mental health, self-care, and basically, like, just start a play it forward type thing mentality, because like I want kids not only to like strive to be maybe basketball players, football players, or things like that, maybe like a marine biologist, gymnastics, or like a chef, things to where like most black people really aren't looking at, but people will end up loving it because they were never experienced it before.
Right, right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What about you, brother?
Kevin, here. For me, after Morris Brown, I plan to attend Georgia State
Okay.
for policy. The reason why normally people will go to another HBCU, that Georgia State's top, number one choice. Clark Atlanta will be second. But even getting my HBCU exposure and taking it over to a PWI, that is the first sole goal in this plan that I have, this life plan that I have for post residential phase, that that I'm going to take what I have, all the knowledge and the information that I know here at my HBCU, to apply it to the PWIs, to let them know, hey, I'm a product of an HBCU, and that the information that they don't know, that I'm the one to give it. I'm the one to give it from my HBCU. So that's top. And then for public policy, also, my ultimate goal is to be on a senator to represent the state of Georgia. I'm probably going up the chart, mayor, and from on there, end goal is probably the White House. So
Greatness.
yeah.
I see is greatness in this room, and I think that's what um this whole episode is about, is showcasing greatness, right? Showcasing the foundation of greatness, right? And I want to say I commend each and every one of you for staying true to your passion and your purpose, right? Because I think that a lot of times the world can tell you to focus on the money, right?
Mhm.
But you can have money and purpose.
Mhm.
You can be rich and be locked into your purpose. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a beautiful thing, right? And I love the mental health side, because I'm a big advocate for mental health. My company is built on that foundation, right? We think that it's very important to have a focus around mental health, but merging it with fashion, right? Fashion is a sense of confidence, right? A sense of pushing for who you are and who you are as a person, right? And it's being authentically yourself, right, at all times. Like for me, I'm always going to be, and I think I commend you guys, each and every one of you guys, for leaning into that. And as we close, this a last question for each and one of you, um, for incoming students or current students, what advice would you give them as they prepare for that next phase and journey after college?
Um, One advice that I could give is always open your mouth. Be communicative. Speak. You never know who you may be talking to, and you never know who could put you in contact with who. That's why, a lot of times when you speak to someone, or the saying that goes, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And I just say all that to say it could be it could be somebody famous, it could be somebody you see in the store. It could most definitely be alumni. Words can explain how many times I've ran into alumni and they've been so resourceful. That's why I love our alumni so much, because they always help out as much as they can. But for the most part, that's one of the advice that I could give current or incoming students. Just always open your mouth and always speak, because like I said, you never know who may be able to help you or put you in contact with, as far as what you want to do.
Love that. Love that.
So for me, my advice to any student, whether they're coming here to Morris Brown, especially here at Morris Brown, particularly that we are shakers and movers, and I call this generation, or even coming into 2 years fully accredited, fully financially restored, that the student body is molding and shaping the future. So coming in, if you have the passion, come in. Hit the ground running, and never give up, because you are if you're going to be here, you're at the right place at the appointed time, that you're going to have to come in and just get acquainted.
All right.
I came in knowing little to nothing, to now to as a student leader, I'm actually
And
helping and
historian too as well.
yes, historian, yes, helping shaping what is going to be for our future here at Morristown College.
Amazing. And last but not least, the best for the last.
I would say the best advice would be to set one goal for yourself. It has to be every semester. The best thing would be at the end of your schooling to where you graduate. Set one goal for yourself. Like I set one goal for myself, and that was to get straight A's throughout college, and I achieved that goal.
Oh, shit.
But also like everything that you do needs to coincide with that goal.
Right,
So like sometimes you're not going to be able to party, sometimes you're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. Sometimes you need to go to a community service benefit and things like that. I set like some simple goals that you can slowly achieve, because a lot of the time when people go to college, they it's like finding yourself.
right,
But when you have set a goal for yourself, you don't just wander, you don't start wandering. You
right,
have a goal that you want to achieve and that you want to do. And like at Morris Brown, there's so much to do that it's not that you will lose yourself, it's that you want to do so much and you might lose sight of like what your original plan was. And the
right,
thing is, I think that it's very important to set a plan for yourself and achieve that plan. Because Morris Brown has a lot of opportunities that you can do, but every opportunity may not be for you, may not be what you want.
right,
So you're going to put your full self into things that you want to do. But when you don't want to do it, then that may put you on a wrong path to where people be like, oh, this person's not showing up, then this might be how Morris Brown is, when
right,
that's completely untrue.
right.
I believe it's like setting goals for yourself is really important.
No, that's amazing. I want to thank you again, guys, for taking the time out. You guys are busy. I know y'all got busy. For having this conversation with me. I think it's definitely needed. To have dope, amazing conversation with students. And we appreciate it. Right. So for everyone that's listening, I want to thank you for tuning in to Morris Brown and Historically Black Sense presents From Hard Reset to Resurgent. We appreciate you guys. We thank these amazing students for having and being vulnerable and telling their story and their journey. And we hope to see you next week. Thank you. We appreciate y'all.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.